We've got a white Xbox Series X that's incoming. I totally forgot about it, if I'm being honest to you. I forgot. I forgot a white Xbox Series X is coming. We've also got Xbox selling games directly on Android next month. This one's pretty big. This is key and paramount to Xbox's success going forward. They want to be everywhere, and a key part of that is being able to sell their games over on Android. We'll go through this as an article from The Verge just detailing how a U.S. court ruling that forces Google to crack open Android for third-party stores is changing Xbox's strategy there. We'll talk about it, what it means for the future, and also, should you get the white Xbox Series X? If you already have one, I don't think you should. Unless you just really like white, maybe you gift yours to someone else. Gift yours to me, please. I would love to take your Xbox Series X. I already have one, but I'll take more. I'd love one in every room. That's my goal. That's how you know I've made it. Before we jump into it, though, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. This is the last episode of the week. It's been a big week. It really has. If you haven't yet, like, subscribe, share us with your friends. If you're over listening to us on podcasts, or you'd prefer to listen to us in podcast format, X1 Daily over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So give us a rate, review, subscribe to us over there. It very much helps out. So let's start with the Android story here. This is from Tom Warren over at The Verge. Xbox will sell games directly in the Android apps next month. Now, they haven't been selling games in Android. They're not selling them on Apple either. I don't know how this U.S. court ruling affects Apple. Let's see if he talks about it. Right now, it just seems to be focused on Google and Android. Microsoft is planning to update its Xbox mobile app on Android to allow U.S. users to purchase and then play Xbox games on their mobile devices next month, following a U.S. court ruling earlier this week that forces Google to stop requiring Google Play billing for apps in the Play Store on November 1st. Microsoft is ready to take advantage of the changes. Quote, this is from Sarah Bond. She sent out a tweet yesterday saying, the court's ruling to open up Google's mobile store in the U.S. will allow more choice and flexibility. Our mission is to allow more players to play on more devices, so we are thrilled to share that starting in November, players will be able to play and purchase Xbox games directly from the Xbox app on Android. That's super cool. Now, I think this has to do with the way that Game Pass works in the store. I don't think that you were able to download games from Game Pass. It would count as a sale, and I think that that's what was affecting Xbox's ability there. Don't quote me on that. I just vaguely remember this discussion happening. Let's see what Tom Warren has to say. Google's Android App Store is an illegal monopoly, and the search giant has been ordered to open up the Play Store to competition for 3 years. This means no longer forcing developers to use its own Google Play billing after a jury found that Google had illegally tied its payment system to its App Store. Google will also have to distribute rival third-party app stores within Google Play. Epic also came out and announced, by the way, that they will be dropping their own game store now inside of, or rather on Android. So this is going to affect a lot of things. It's going to be more of a platform in the same way that, like, let's say a PC or a Mac is a platform, and then your app can be on that platform, and you can do direct purchases through that app without having to go through Apple's pay system or Microsoft's pay system on the, on the PC. That seems to me what is happening here. Tom Warren says, the Xbox Store purchase support directly in the mobile Android app will allow Microsoft to sell games freely on Android devices, and integrate Xbox cloud gaming features mean people will be able to immediately stream games to their handset after purchasing them. I think this opens up a whole new world for cloud gaming. Obviously, this was the goal for them. It took Epic and Microsoft, I think, joined that lawsuit against Google. It's not immediately clear, Tom Warren says, why Microsoft can't already provide Xbox game purchases inside its Android mobile app, though. You can buy games from Steam or the PlayStation Store on mobile devices, so Microsoft has long been the exception here. I asked Microsoft for more details on the store changes, but the company says Bond's statement is all it has right now. That is interesting. I think number one, you have to pay fees to Google. I think that was a big hindrance to them, to Microsoft. And then I think the reason, if you remember correctly, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, but I think it had to do with technically downloading a game counted as a purchase, so you couldn't utilize Game Pass via the App Store. Like, you weren't able to do that somehow. I don't know. Regardless, this is good news. I'm not a technical guy here. I don't know the ins and outs of how mobile gaming works within an app and sells and all the back end stuff like that, but it's a good thing. I mean, it's clearly paramount to Xbox's strategy to have Game Pass and the ability to offer its own platform on phones. In fact, a lot of people have been saying, hey, Xbox regrets or Microsoft regrets not sticking with its Windows Phone because you could sidestep all of this in that case, particularly if you were able to eke out a share of the space with the Windows Phone. Here's the thing. The Windows Phone is actually pretty underrated. Microsoft has this history of creating good products that actually function better than the competition in some ways, and then not supporting it long term. The Zune. Remember Zune? It was the competitor to the iPod. I had a friend who had a Zune, and I was jealous of it. It was better than the iPod. The iPod just had, they had the market space. That's it. And then Zune wasn't supported long term there. I think it's the same with the Windows Phone. The Windows Phone, I've had all three phones. I've had Android, Apple, and Windows Phone. Windows Phone, it did not have the apps. That was a huge problem for it. The apps were all being developed for Google and Android, and it was very rare to have apps. I mean, the biggest apps were there, but there was, for instance, YouTube, I don't believe had an app on the Windows Phone even. So you had to use like a web browser, and it was ridiculous. So that was a struggle for them. But the user interface on the Windows Phone was amazing. It really was the best UI that has existed on a smartphone, because you could just look at it. It was tiles, and you could just open it up, look at it, and you'd get all your information there. You would not have to swipe into the phone like you do now with Android or Apple. It was a fantastic user interface, and I wonder if Xbox does or Microsoft does regret that now with streaming the way that it is, with video games going the direction that it's going, and having your own ecosystem in a phone form would probably help it for sure. Would love to know how many of you plan to take advantage of this in the Android space. I have an iPhone myself, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But regardless, we press forward. Xbox presses forward with its plan here. Will be interesting to see how it comes into place, comes to fruition. I can't speak. It's Friday, everybody. It's Friday. Xbox fan shows off white digital Series X ahead of the upcoming launch. This is a news story over at purexbox.com. And this is an image that they're sharing. For those of you that are listening via podcast, you can't see it, but it is a white Xbox Series X with the white Elite controller. And it looks good. It looks really good. Now, this is going to be available this holiday season. There's a 1 terabyte and 2 terabyte version, but they're refreshing it, and they're dropping a white version of the Series X. I mean, white is just, in electronics, white is always just a really clean look. It's why I have the white. Where's my controller at? Oh, it's over on my desk. I have the white Elite controller myself and love it. I have the Series S, I think, is the sexiest console on the planet at the moment, and it's because it's got that clean white look with that big black in the middle grill, and it just looks so clean. It looks so good. You could have that up on your entertainment system, on your entertainment console in your living room, and it's almost a decorative piece. It looks that good. So the Series X is definitely more utilitarian. It's not, I wouldn't say it's sexy at all, like the Series S. The Series S is a nice looking piece of hardware. The Series X is just a box. Like it's very utilitarian, but getting it as an option in white is super cool. I'm going to be interested to see. Again, you're not getting new people with this. This is for your hardcore fans, I think, in a similar vein that the PlayStation 5 Pro, for instance, is not onboarding new people. This is just another option, another color option, another color scheme for Xbox gamers ultimately. So let me know if you're getting one, though. It does look good. Also, send me pictures for sure. That does us for today, everybody. This is our last show of the week. We do have a live stream tonight. Every Friday, we have a live stream. I'm looking and hoping to open that up to a few times a week, so stay tuned for that. But we did drop our podcast this week. It's been a big week for the Xbox space. Thank you guys for all of your support. I love hanging out with you guys every single day here on this channel, here on this podcast. Appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, share us with your friends. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.